For this season on STV, we're changing the name of the part of the show that showcases new machines. We're changing it from First Burn to Afterburn. Now, we're still going to do First Burns, but those are going to be broadcast to you on the internet only, and going to be our very first ride impressions that we can give you right from the driver's seat of the machine. You might actually have seen them before. Then we're going to move here to the studio, where we can take the time to drill down on the details of a particular machine to give you a more composed review. And for our very first Afterburn segment we're going to do is going to be on the Yamaha SRX, one of my favorite sleds and one that we've seen before in this segment of the show. The turbocharged Yamaha Genesis platform has, in my opinion, dropped the mic on the snowmobile industry when it comes to all-out horsepower. And then Yamaha dropped the hammer when they brought back the SRX 3 seasons ago, and it's still at the top of the food chain. And for this year, it's back in blue. Last year, 2020, the scientists at Yamaha decided that the SRX needed to be black for some reason. Now, they were wrong. Even though I realized that the original SRXs were white and red, then they went to black and gold, but I don't remember those sleds. I remember Yamaha blue being the color of Yamaha performance, not black. Although I do admit last year's black SRX was a pretty sexy sled on the snow, but nothing compared to this blue when you get it on a white, crispy background. It's just awesome. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. That's a you problem. After my experiences with the Sidewinders and then the SRX, I can honestly say that this is the sled that elevated four-stroke snowmobiles in my head. Before the SRX, four-strokes were at about a 25% rating. Now, they're on a solid 50-50 equal footing with two-strokes in my mind, and that's a newer development. For 2021, there's not much that's changed for the SRX other than the color here. It's blue now. But what has changed starts right up here at the ski tip. And that's because for 2021, the tuner ski is tuned out. It's gone, never to be spoken of again. This new ski called the Strike, spelled with a Y, will perform and does perform way better in a larger variety of snow conditions, which was really the problem with the tuner ski. The tuner skis weren't all that bad and performed well on hard-packed, squeaky snow, but as conditions softened up, so did their performance. The new keel, rubber saddle block, and unique tapered carbide design of the Strike ski is definitely an improvement in every way and condition. Moving up from the ski, there's a new front suspension name. This is now the ARX front suspension. The change is where the ball joint of the lower control arm attaches to the spindle. It's been moved up about an inch from its previous position. This adds a little bit of ground clearance, but it also lowered the roll center of the front suspension by improving the geometry. All this means there's more bite with the front skis, but that's been balanced out with the lower roll center of the ARX suspension, so the SRX will corner as flat as before. Now, there's that word again, balance, which is one that I've used to describe the SRX before. And a big part of the balance of this package is the rear track, which is one thing that hasn't changed for 2021. It's still a 137 with a 1-inch lug. On the SRX's kissing cousin, the Thundercat, its track has been changed to an 1.25 inch lug. Now, it definitely has more grip, but it also makes the T-Cat understeer a bit more in the corners. Braking is improved with the taller lug, but I'm not sure if these two benefits outweigh the compromise in balance mid-corner. I prefer to back up my braking zone just a little bit and use the slip of the track to make the back of the sled a bigger part of the mid-corner experience. Then, off the corner, while still feeling the effects of a little oversteer, the power of the SRX and the track speed it generates, I feel, overcome the 1/4 inch smaller track. Another thing that hasn't changed is the gauge package on not only the SRX, but also the rest of the Sidewinder line. Personally, I really don't mind it, and I don't spend a whole lot of time looking at it anyways, and when I do, I can get the information I want, like what mode the suspension is in, or what my engine temperature's at if I'm in concerning conditions, but yeah, it does look a little dated. Anyways, I'm going to shut up for a second so we can show you some spectacular images of this blue SRX in action from Yellowstone. riding the SRX in Yellowstone really is one of those best day at work ever type scenarios. Now, I also know that a sled like the SRX isn't for everyone, and there's always going to be some of you out there who think a sled like this is maybe too heavy, or it's got too many strokes in the engine cycle, or maybe it's simply the wrong brand for you. And that's fine. You're entitled to your own opinion, even though it's wrong, because for me, the SRX is a machine I'm in love with.